Welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is Wednesday, September 21st, 2016. And the title of tonight's webinar is Viper A to Z, and it's part one. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar. Other webinars that we might have, our live trading room, or anything else with Viper Trading Systems should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? If not, we're going to go ahead and get started. By the way, I had some questions come in this morning in the room, and this was part of tonight's webinar anyway, so this works out, about what we meant by the four trends. Okay, I think anybody that's been with us a while, you can clearly see that there are those trends on your charts. I'll go over some trend lines and things like that. Matter of fact, Mindy, on your question, I'll even have an indicator that'll draw these tops for you and the bottoms to kind of snake it in even. And you'll be able to look at some stair stepping and things like that too. But what I want to go over real quick, just to let everybody know, there are basically four trends on your chart. Okay, now this particular trend, and this is a real chart right here. This is actually real prices. All I've done is used my little webinar template, but there are really price bars underneath this black, but they're invisible. Okay, so you can clearly see that this is basically a larger trend, right? You have a thrust, a retrace, and a thrust. Okay, now I want to show you why you want to be careful being a breakout trader. Okay, I want to show you why it's important not to be a breakout trader. Because to give you an example, if you were to say, be watching this, and in real time, let's say that you weren't up to here yet. Okay, let's say that right here is when it breaks out. So you get filled about right in through here, don't you? Okay, that would be a breakout trade. But look what happens. And this is real. I mean, this is real prices on here. They'll thrust and they'll retrace. Now, where would your stop have had to been on this trade if you were using this lightning? And the answer would be all the way under here, wouldn't it? Okay, because for it to stair step, it would have to do a high, a low, a higher high, and a higher low. Even if it came all the way down to where this blue line is within a tick or so, that would still be considered an uptrend. Okay, and that's extremely important to know that too. Is people not getting sound? Everybody hears sound, right? Testing audio 1, 2, 3. Just 1 second. Let me make sure that it didn't switch over. Everybody else is getting it. Some people are not getting sound. That's weird. Okay, well they'll go out and come back in. GoToWebinar had some kind of update last night, but it's showing on my headset with microphone and everything, so we should be good. All right, so everybody see what I'm talking about? You know, so when you box in, to give an example, let's say this was around mid-band. I don't know if it would have been or not, but let's say that you had boxed this in, you know, something like that, or down below maybe it was mid-band or whatever. You've got to realize anytime you get a break up, you're going to have a pullback. And that's the whole idea of trading, is stair stepping. And the reason we drill this home so much is because there are four trends on your chart. There is this trend, okay? There is this trend. This is your micro trend. See there? That's real prices, okay? Now, judging by looking at this chart right here, and this is going over learning Viper A to Z because this is the way we teach it. And then I'm going to go over every indicator that we have, object trader, you know, it'll be a several night course. Okay. Let's see, mute their speakers. Did we lose? Wow, several people are saying we lost audio. Let me just put it on phone and go over time. Testing audio again. Sound okay? Loud and clear, okay. Well, we'll have to go on. All right. So everybody see what I'm talking about here? Let's say, for instance, that you were a breakout trader and you know, maybe you didn't catch this way back here, but you walked into the room with your trading computer and you saw this. okay, and you decided to go ahead and take it. That's a breakout trade again, right? So where would your stop have to be if you were using Lightning 1 instead? I like to personally use the little thrust, retrace, so I'd put my stop just under there, like that, okay? But keeping in mind that if this busted up like this could very easily do this also, come all the way back and still have a higher low than that right there. See, that's a tick difference, and still head up like that, okay? So it's really important to see this in real time. When I draw on those charts in that room, this is exactly what we're looking at. We're looking at those swings. We're looking at trends 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So keep in mind that when you take the breakout trades, you got to let them, if they're going to retrace, you got to let them. You remember when Charles took that little breakout trade today? I know he had to have felt about 15 ticks of heat on that trade, and if he had, say, 5 contracts on there, that's $75 a tick. That's roughly, say, $400. I don't know how many contracts he had, and I don't care. But, you know, the whole thing is that you've got to realize that you've got to stair step. If it's going to change on you, then it's going to change and very possibly take you out, and then you'll be looking very possibly for the next trend down or whatever. Okay? All right, so for instance, if you were taking this trade like right here, let's say that you just decided to take this trade, I don't know, above maybe this swing right here, something like that, or if you just saw it break up a little bit and then break here, even took the trade here, well, technically your stop would have to be all the way under here. But, you know, that's 20 ticks or better, okay? So that's why I personally like the Viper method, and that is using the power meters 1 through 4. Because this is not real information right here, but this is, okay? And to me, for this to take me out of this trade, it would have to take this out, okay? Or this one here. Let's say that you got in this and you got a nice trade, you're trucking along and everything's great, okay? Now, we've got some other indicators, of course, that we love to use, and that's those predictors. Okay, notice that you have a blue predictor here, a green one here. Where do you think the next one would be? Anybody? Next one would be probably higher than this one, right? You'll expect a predictor higher than this one right here. Near the blue line, right? It's going to show up, you know, very close to that blue line, but it should be a little higher if you're going to stair step up. Okay, when they start getting sideways and you get the ellipses right beside each other and everything, those are great to trade too. And I'm going to go over a lot of that tonight too with learning Viper A to Z. Okay, any questions on this thus far though? Because to me, this is one of the most critical things when you're trading, and I don't think everybody sees it. And it's super important to see it because it will change your trading forever. Because when we draw on those charts, you'll notice that we're pretty darn accurate at getting in. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and go to, I'm going to show the indicators one at a time so you can kind of see what's going on your charts. Bear with me just one second. I'll go to a regular chart here. Oh, let me go to this one first. I've got another one for you. I just drew 3 trends for everyone so you could see the 3 trends. Okay, you should be able to see 3 trends on your chart. And I tried to draw these realistic. Now, these aren't real because your prices are obviously on this chart. But I drew these as accurate as I possibly could, the way price action does work. Okay, and everybody see what we're talking about? Thrust, retrace. You know, usually about 50% of the move as a rule, lots of times. And then you'll have a predictor show up, and then you'll get another move, pull back. Your stop would be under here, right? If you did this little breakup, your stop would be under here. If you did this little breakup, stop would be under here. It's real easy to see that. If you were looking at the longer term, like you wanted to stay with a gusto type trade, what if you got in way down here and you just started stair stepping up? That's how you get those 100 tick runs. let's see, the colors that I stated are in the text with the indicators. Yes, colorblind for green, so I'm not able to follow you all the time. Yeah, as a matter of fact, Joe, on your question, we do have the ability now to change the bar colors and the background colors. So you're not stuck with just greens and reds. Because I do realize that with some people that have color problems, that could make a big difference. But all you have to do is go into your indicator and you can change it around. Just go into your bar color, so you can change it from blue, any color you want. You can change your background to any color you want. We've got it all set on here now. So you don't have to have green. You can have blue if you want or whatever. Okay, just choose how you like to trade it. Okay, but let's go over these just real quick. I want to ask some simple questions real quick, whether you're an aggressive trader on retraces or you're a little bit more of a breakout trader. Now, I'm a little bit of both because I like to wait for a thrust to come back, but then I'll use the micro lightning to get into the trade. You know, to give an example, like on this little trade here, let's say that you saw it thrust up here and it pulls back and you got lightning like that. Well, your lightning swing is just basically across there. Couldn't you get long? Predictor colors are blue and green for longs and white and pink for short. Is that right? Yeah, but let me look at that real quick. Predictor, where's my predictor? You can choose your colors for your predictor too. Okay, so you don't have to leave this color either. I like the magenta and white for my shorts and my navy and my green for the longs. Okay, and you can clearly see them on the chart. See the navy, the green, navy, green, navy, green, navy, white, magenta, white, magenta, white. Okay, but you can change those to any color you want. Now, real quick before I go any further, and I hate that this had GoToWebinar and there's, you know, change their scripts or whatever they're doing, because we've had several people have had audio problems, and I apologize for that. This is recorded, so hopefully it comes out on the recording and anybody can watch it again. Mary says getting a message connecting to audio. Hopefully it does. All right, so keep in mind you've got little trend, you got a medium trend, and you've got a major trend, always on the same charts. Just one sec, somebody's probably wanting sound. Okay, everybody see what I'm talking about? Little micro trends, medium trend, a little bit larger trend, but they all trade the same way. Okay, type phone link for those without sound. Well, actually, it's a long phone number and the phone link and everything, but if anybody, I'll type it in here. If they'll just look at the audio, they can get the phone link. If you're not getting sound, that is. All right, sent that to the entire audience. Let's see, in GoToMeeting audio output, make sure you're set up to use the right speakers or built-in audio if that serves you well. Well, actually, I've used the same one, and my headset is actually showing to be the one, and it's correct. It's Microsoft Live Chat, and that's set that way, so it's not on my end. It's, well, that is, I'm saying GoToMeeting. I went in there. Okay, we're kind of wasting some time with sound, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and go on. Okay, I did change it from sound to phone and back. I didn't do it either, Thomas. Believe me, I try everything. You know, I'm kind of one of those guys that knows you have to reboot and all that kind of stuff. So if it's not working for them, they'll probably have to watch the video. Okay, let's go back to it though. An uptrend, of course, you have higher lows and higher highs, right? So you can't take out the previous low once a high is taken out. That's simple as it gets. Low, high, higher low doesn't take out this low. Higher high can't take out this low. Higher low once it takes out this high. It's that easy. And you're doing it on all 4 trends. Now I don't pay as much attention to this trend, this power meter 4, as I do to this trend, and this trend. Those I pay attention to big time, okay? Because the whole idea is you want to stay with the trend as much as possible, because you're going to get beat up if you don't. Okay, at the opens, we'll go ahead and try some things naturally, and believe me, a lot of those work out and some of them don't. If you want to stay totally the way Viper is designed, don't go against the blue and the green and the yellow for longs and the red, the magenta, and the rose for the shorts, and sell the predictors and buy the predictors. Okay, and that works quite well. All right. Anybody have any questions on the uptrends and the downtrends? Because that's as basic as it gets. But, you know, I don't think a lot of people have really looked into how many trends there are on your chart, though. And I think that's pretty important. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and erase all of this. Okay, now let's go ahead and draw like we did before. I'm going to draw the same thing I did before on that black chart. Okay, everybody see? Yeah, we'll go over the checklist for taking predictor trades and everything, Abe. What I like to do most of the time anyway is I don't like to go against this third trend right here. Okay, because to give an example, let's draw lightning 1 on here from down here. Hopefully I can get it. There we go. Okay, now where's my trade on this chart? Just looking at this chart, teaching Viper A to Z, where would you think the trade is on this chart? And the answer is you really don't know yet, do you? This is what I'm talking about here, right here, Carl, because when I look at a trade like this, you know, for instance, would you just go ahead and snap a long when it's up this high? You know, let's put Object Trader on here so we can trade it. Would you just simply just click buy? Absolutely not. Now, what if it runs 30 ticks? Well, then you made a mistake. But how many thrust trades pull back? And they do, don't they? They pull back all the time. As a matter of fact, you can short the silly thing or draw a trend line and use Object Trader and actually more than likely take a short right there even if it breaks it. And we've got tools to do just that. And that again will be part of Viper A to Z tonight and the next couple of nights. Okay? But I'm going to teach basically with the trend so we don't get confusing on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for a pullback. Now before this predictor ever draws, you need to draw on your charts. Okay? So I would look, that's a very shallow right there. See, it's not even breaking lightning right here. Okay? And I would draw one more line on this chart, which would be right here, and that's where I would expect that predictor to draw. Now, I don't know if it's going to, but it should, because that's where it's doing its calculations and everything and trying to come up with that. I'll go ahead and start that and see. Now, the beauty of the predictor is, though, that it shows up in real time, so you can take that trade when it sets itself up. Let's just see what it does. And I'd be very tempted to short this, okay, because I'm a fairly aggressive trader, and I see a trend line right through there, and I'd more than likely try to get 5 ticks for a couple of $100. But you don't have to do that. You had to use a phone dial-in. Computer audio is not working. Had Windows Update today. Yeah, you know, Windows Update, I looked into that, and did you know it's almost impossible to turn it off? I was Googling that, and the way Windows 10 is now, they've got it to where they've just pretty much update you. And mine, when it updates, it kills my 30-inch monitor because it's older. And when it updates, it's no longer got the resolution. So I have to actually physically move my computer, unplug it, plug it back in, reboot it so the silly thing finds it. I'd like to wring somebody's neck on that one. That's ridiculous. You know, there's no reason for that type of thing, right? Okay, let's see if we can get us a little trade here. We were up at what? About that 28.40 area. Let's see if we can get a predictor trade. Now, what I personally like to do myself is I like to draw on my charts, okay? Notice that predictor is a little higher than this, but I don't see a swing there. Predictor may be seeing it way over here to the left or some calculation in the algorithm. But I personally, since I see real swings, is I see it there or I see it here. So that's where I'm going to fire the trade. Okay? Let's see if we can do just that. And I'm going to just go for like 10 ticks just to show you that you can actually utilize predictor very well. How do you know it was going down? What do you mean, Patrick? I'm not following you. Well, here's your little trade setting up, isn't it? Little trade setup. What do you think? We'll try it. And I see a swing right underneath here, like so. Okay, so that's where I would expect my target to be. So let's see if we can get that 5 and 8. By the dotted line, we'll see how that hit exactly where I wanted it to hit. And that's what those predictors do. They draw these beautiful, beautiful trades. And I'm going to show you, if you just scalp these things, you can do quite well because markets don't run all the time. Okay, did we get 2 targets on that just then? We did, didn't we? All right, since we're out of it, what do we do? Do we just hit buy and lose this $290? No. No, we got to wait for a retracement. Okay, now this is going to teach how a lot of traders make a lot of good money every single day. And like I said, you don't have to run. Now keep in mind, if you want to run these, you could certainly keep one contract in, but be ready for retracements that are fairly deep. Okay, to give an example, you've got a low way down here, a high, a low, a higher high, a higher low. A higher high so far, but it hasn't really identified it yet. See, because it hadn't printed the green power meter 3 yet. So if you were to take this trade down here, would you put your stop way under here? Probably not. But this is the way it's actually drawing on the chart on its pullbacks. Let's see if we can get in another trade. We're not going to take a breakout trade. It's going to have to either break here, come back and kiss, or come down in this area again and kiss. We'll see if we can get it. Bar close to the upside or box in? You know, Carl, on that question, when I see it hit where well, especially like if you can draw your lines on your chart, and lightning draws it real well. See, this is the lightning swing. See the high, the low, the higher high? And remember what we were looking at just a few minutes ago on that picture? Let me get it back to that picture just a second. Did we? Yeah, we got rid of all the lines on the picture, but it's the same thing. I'll just show you what I'm talking about. Bear with me a second. Okay, look where it's saying that we should have a trade now. This is our identified swing right here on our micro trend. Okay, it cannot take that out if it's going to stair step up. Okay, it already checked the top of it. See there? Check the top of that swing right there. Thrust, retrace, thrust, big thrust. Check about halfway in the middle. That's an A, a B, and look, that actually hit your C, so we didn't get that one. Let's just take it anyway. It broke that little swing right there, so we'll take it anyway. And we'll try to get up there to that top. Okay? Just try to get up there. See how these predictors work, though? Now, I had this going about 15 times, so it got a little quicker than we could have gotten it right down here. I took it here instead on basically the bar close above it. That wasn't as good of an entry. Your entry was right down here where I drew the lines. Now, what if you wanted to run this trade? I mean, just literally run it. Well, to run it, you've got to take one of your targets totally out of the way. Okay, and then you're going to run it with lightning. Let's see what it does with lightning. And like I say, this is teaching Viper A to Z because this is exactly the way we call these trades in the room every single day. You'll notice at about 8:30 that I called a phantom trade on Russell and even mentioned that it was had changed to mid-band pink. That didn't matter to us because it was a higher low. I hope my recording has audio too, Mary, but if not, you know, I'll absolutely make it as available as possible. Okay. Keep in mind, just like I was saying though, that when you're looking at zigzags, okay, we got our target. Let's just pause this for just a second. Let me draw something down here I want to show you. You can have something like this. You can have something like this. And then the thing can do like it did just then. It can go all the way up there like that. Okay? But where is the identified lightning swing on this particular chart, this little image? It's right there, just like this was. Okay? See what they do? They're going to check them. Let me just kill all this and I'll show you on the chart. Well, we're still long on this one, so I can't really do that. I'll just kill the lightning. I want to show you how to stay in a trade too. Everybody see that? Because this could have done this instead. You know, it could have done like that and then pulled back a little bit more, but it's still stair-stepping. But it's the same principle. It's just stair-stepping sometimes more. Like, see, this one did thrust, retrace, little thrust, retrace, big thrust. That's your swing. Okay? And notice how they wicked it. They wicked that swing because guess what? If they had taken that swing out, they were no longer heading up on the micro side of this. Okay? Now, how do you stay in a trade once you get in a trade? And that's really important because you can make a lot of money staying in trades. Okay? Until the lightning changes directions. Okay? Right now, we basically got in at a predictor. We haven't really had a lightning swing just yet. Let's see if we get one. I'll bet it hits its head right here, pulls back a little bit, maybe a little higher, and then pulls back. Okay? Where do you think it's going to pull back to, by the way? Anybody? Because I can already see it, and I think most of our Viper traders can too. And I'll draw it for you, and you're going to be able to see it also. I'll draw it right here from this side. Right on top of that swing, wouldn't you think? See if it does. I just about bet it does. And if it goes any further, of course, we're going to still be able to catch it. And by the way, if this is going to head up, see how this mid-band is just totally straight across? Well, it hasn't had enough of a thrust to change it, but watch it do a little hook if it does. Because that's all done in real time too. But it has to meet certain criteria, and you're going to see it. What's the mid-band? Built in the algorithms. Picked a slow time at night, didn't I? I'll speed it up a little bit more. 15 times should work. See the mid-band? See the mid-band? So where would you think the next trade's going to be? Well, looking at lightning, I would say it'd be right there. Okay? Let's see if it pulls right back into there, just for the fun of it. Let's just see if it does. Because lightning is telling it where it's going to return to, because you're looking to the left to trade the right. And that's Viper A to Z. We're in 2. We'll see a predictor more than likely here pretty soon. Now, is that a downtrend? Look at that, just heading up. And by the way, that's lightning 1. You know why that lightning 1 went straight up like that? Because there was no zigzag. There was nothing for the, well, the way it's designed is, you know, we're looking at a 4 range 1 strength, and that was 4 range 1 strength all the way up. Why not the 2 little swings to the left? Because you're always looking to the left first at the first available price swing, immediately away from price. That's what you're looking at. Because see, when they break out, they're going to come back and kiss. Watch a predictor show up. I'm going to take a chance. Now this can get, there you go. See it? See it right there? Right at my predictor and right at the lightning swing. That's my favorite trade pullback right there, is that particular trade. Okay, now keep in mind we've got 6 now, so we're at risk, right? Where's our lightning swing? Well, unfortunately, it's all the way under, say, here even. You know, if they decided to check instead of here, they'd check here. So that's probably as low as I'd let them go. So I'd bring that stop just under here, like that, and put it exit on close. Okay. Let's see, first available, you never said that. Oh, ViperAZ, on your question, I've said that in a lot of webinars. It's looking to the left to trade the right. And you're always looking at the lightning swings. The reason I drew them on this chart is so everybody could see them, you know, in real time. But you need to train your eyes to see them without the lines if you can, because it just clutters the chart otherwise. Okay. Now, if this will break this, see how that's a higher low than this right here? This swing gets broken, guess what? You can bring your stop all the way under there. See there? I'm not sure why we lost our other target, but we still have 4 on. And by the way, you can get out on lightning also. Watch the power meter. I'll just watch the power meter, and if it goes red, I'll get out. Wow, that's a good trade. See if we get another little pop to the upside and get power meter. That should turn power meter if it goes underneath that. This is not an identified swing, but my swing's all the way under here. And you got to be really careful when your swing's way under here. Now there's your swing there. It's trying to identify it. Let's see if we can get it. Lightning to the downside if that closes. I'm not going to do a counter trend trade though. We'll just get out. There we go. We'll just sell those 4 and we're out. Okay? That easy and that quick. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. That's even odd hours and everything. But where do you think the next trade is on the chart? Well, watch for your predictor. Let's just clean this chart up just real quick. Bear with it a second. And I'm going to take the time here in just a few minutes to go over, you know, the indicators and, you know, how to change them to whatever you want. We're looking for a predictor. It did not get down to this one. See, it missed it by a couple of ticks. So it's probably going to be deeper. A, B, C. Should get a predictor somewhere. Let's see. Where's our swing? That's good enough. I only did 1 contract. That's because I had 1. That's all right. We'll just do the 1. No big deal. Does it matter if you hit sell or close when you want to exit a trade? Well, close just means you're closing the trade. But on your question, you can absolutely do that. Now, what if this goes against me and that's 12 ticks? Does everybody see where the swing is on this chart? If this is going to continue up, it's all the way under here. So would you put your stop way under there? That's like 19 ticks. That would hurt, wouldn't it? So we got to kind of trust as soon as it pops above here and gives us what we call lightning identified, that's where our stop would need to be. And that's trying to close, and there it did. We just got our target. Everybody see that? Okay, let's look for another predictor trade. I'm going to do it for more than 1 contract. You can't make money doing 1 on little trades. See if we can get another one. Now remember, when it's green and blue, you're looking for the green ellipse, green ellipse, green ellipse, green ellipse. Okay? If it happens to change this midband to magenta, you'd be looking the other direction. But always, always, always look at where your medium swing is. Now this is going to be a good one. There's a predictor right there. See why I'm buying that? Now I'm a little aggressive because I see this going on right now too. See it right there? Will it work? We'll find out. When you take a phantom trade, you're really shooting for midband. And this is only 3 o'clock in the morning, so this isn't too bad of trading, is it? So we've got like 3 contracts left. Now, would you put your stop all the way under here? Well, looking to the left to trade the right, I don't think they can take this swing out and still head up. So I would probably bring my stop just under there and fade it just a little bit, maybe a couple of ticks just in case, because they could come down and check phantom and then still pop up. Everybody see that? See your high, your low, your higher high? That medium swing should hold. Now, this is what I call like a secondary swing. This is what I call a medium swing when you get these yellow bars or red bars. That's why in the room this morning, I had a line drawn on Russell, and if I remember right, about 8:30 in the morning, it bounced right off of that. With a higher low, by the way. See what I'm talking about, trading 4 trends? You always want to be trading the 4 trends. Okay, now if you want to go for gusto type trades, of course, you would simply still have some on right here, and then you get out when the lightning went the other direction. Why did we just take this trade, Perez? This is a wonderful type of trade in Viper that's phantom. You're going to find out that a lot of times when you're looking at these thrusts and retraces, you went from red to the green, you had a yellow bar probe, you had another one. Each time it's ratcheting up from the previous high, ratchets up from the previous high, ratchets up from the previous high. So these are good trades. Now, if you don't get a ratchet up, you don't want to take another yellow bar probe. Oh, you didn't hear part of that, Mary? What I was talking about a little bit earlier was there are actually 4 trends on your chart. Okay, and you can trade all 4 of those trends. Now, the major trend I don't pay as much attention to, except for the large pullbacks, and you can still trade them too. The power meter 3 is your most important trend, because if you draw it, let me just go back to that black chart so we can show it. We're in pretty decent money. I'm gonna go back to the black chart so everybody can see it. Okay, and let me get rid of the predictor for now. And I'm going to get rid of lightning 1. Okay, this was only to here when I started this webinar. I think it was up here, wasn't it? But anyway, see how they stair step? This is real data. Stair step doesn't take out the low. Stair steps can't take out that low. It's really easy to look on your charts and see where they need to hit their head, or they're going to give you some grief. The trend to trade, though, is whichever one you want to trade, because you can trade counter trend with this meter right here with the lightning 1. But keep in mind that, let's say, for instance, that this broke down a little bit up here. Like when you broke this swing, you'd have to put your stop here, and it zigzagged down. But what do you think is going to happen? Well, more than likely, it's not going to take this out. And it may take 3 hours to get there. But if it's going to stay in an uptrend, guess what? It won't take out this swing by more than probably 4 ticks. It may wick it, but you're doing stair stepping. So that swing should hold. That means that if you do like to short, when you get these thrusts, to give an example, well, you'd have to wait, though, for what? You'd look, you'd watch your price. Tries to go back up. Where's your lightning swing? Well, it's right there. Now, that would be a pretty aggressive trade, and I would probably be wanting to take some of my coin right there. Okay, see the swing? and I'd be wanting to take some more coin right there. So you took some coin, you're still in it, your stop's right above the swing, and you're trying to get down. Okay, now I have no idea what this actually did, but I do know that at 8:30 in the morning, we did take a trade right down in this area right here, because if I remember right, my fill was roughly in that area of like 1226-ish. I'm almost positive. Okay, Mary, you understand that? Because this is, to me, opened my eyes up more than anything I've ever learned. Because when I first started trading, I used to take these stupid breakout trades. You know, let's say you were looking here and you said, wow, you got a swing here, so I'm going to take a breakout. And you take a breakout right there, and you think, wow, this is going to go to the moon, it's going to go to the moon. And then all of a sudden, you didn't make hardly anything, because what does it do? It retraces and gives you the trade. Instead, thrust, retrace, ellipse forms. See the predictor? See the predictor, the predictor? It just doesn't get any better than that. The four trends are actually lightning of your four lightnings. This is lightning 3 right here. This is lightning 1. Okay? If you want to see lightning 2, you just simply hold your shift key down. I'll get rid of lightning 1 so we can draw it. Hold your shift key down, and that's lightning 2. But it's the same principle. It's a little bit larger swing. So where, let's say for instance, you lucked out and you shorted up here, and it thrust down and it retraced a little bit. So you had your stop here at first. Then it thrust down a little bit more, so you bring your stop here. Then it thrust down a little bit more, so you bring it here. Then it thrust down a little bit more, but it still hadn't taken this out yet. See there? So where's your stop? It's still right here. Because this swing is not identified yet. Okay? And that's pretty important, because they can bounce right off of them, take your stop out, and you're fine anyway, right? You got a runner. That's if you want to trade lightning, because on any chart, and I know some of you missed this, but on any chart you have lightning swings. I'm going to just draw downtrends for the fun of it first. When is this swing identified? Is it identified yet? And the answer to that is no, because that swing's not taken out, right? See that swing right there? So that could be a fake, and guess what? It could still do this. Take that one out, and you'd think you're going up, but this swing holds, and then they do this. The swing that gets identified is the one that takes that out. See there? That is your identified swing at that very moment right there. Break of a swing, absolutely. It's just like stair stepping is what it is. You know, if you can make everything seem like stairs, you'll probably be one of the best traders in the country. Step, retrace, step, retrace, step. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And no matter what you look at on a chart, they can be huge like this, but it's still stair stepping. Okay, that's what I was showing you on here, right here. Let's see how it's stair stepping. That's lightning 3. So if you were trading this, let's just go ahead and get rid of all the stuff on it, because it's not really that necessary. And I'm going to get rid of lightning 1. Okay, and you're looking for trades. I'm going to get rid of lightning 1. For some reason it doesn't want to get rid of my lightning 2. There we go. All right. Now, you know by diagnosing the chart that you're in an uptrend, right? Okay. So you know by looking at this chart right now that you had a high here, a low here. This low is established because it took out this swing. See it up here? Now, is this low established yet? And the answer to that's no, not unless we draw lightning 1 and see it didn't even take it even close to out. So where's our identified swing on this particular chart? Right there. where do you think needs to hold if it's going to head up? Right there. That's why when you see in the room, when I draw on charts and I say our medium swing is right here, we're not heading down until it takes it out. What would make this chart head down? Taking this out. That would be a breakout trade, right? Let's just draw on it. Let's do a hypothetical on it, because this didn't break down like this. But let's just say that this had broken down. All right, and you finally took out this swing. Say a little bit like that right there. Okay, is that a good short trade? Well, probably not, because you could have drawn a trend line and gotten him way up here. Everybody see that? See there? Whoop, I just killed my lightning 3 just a second. Everybody see that? You could actually get the short a little bit quicker if you draw trend lines on your chart and use the ray trader. But for intents and purposes of a breakout, for this to actually change trends, this has to break this. And to me, it has to break it a little bit more, you know, something like that, and then go back up and kiss somewhere lower than this. Because see, then you're starting to get a thrust, a retrace, a thrust, a retrace, and you're stair-stepping down. And you'll notice when it does that, that this will quit stair-stepping up and it'll start stair-stepping down. Okay? Now, without any extra indicators on your charts, I can tell you this, that you can trade this particular way and make money. How many of you agree with me on that? I know there's a lot of Viper traders in here that do it every single day. And they didn't have to learn all the stuff that's out there. It's not that important. Stair-stepping is important. Identified swings are ultra important, because until it makes an identified swing, it is not going the other direction. Okay? Let's draw our lightning 1 for the fun of it right here. All right, just by what we're looking at right here, you got a high, you got a low, you don't have a higher high, right? So if you were starting this trade, let's say you got in right here, I don't know, maybe you just hit the button and that was a little breakout or whatever, okay? And you got your stop in, well, where is your lightning swing on this chart? Well, on the micro side, you've got a high, a low, little higher high, I don't count that one yet. Little higher high, I'd probably count this one. See the furthest one back right here? Because it is stair-stepping a little bit. See the little higher lows right there? But when it breaks this quite a bit like this and pulls back, this would have been your stop. See it? High, low, higher low, little bit higher high, stop still here. Everybody see that? Because until it breaks this right here by a little bit, at least a close of a bar or so, this is not your swing. Okay? That's your microside. See, we're doing real time right now. See how that just, see where your secondary swing is right there? That's why when you take these little micros, you got to pretty much scalp them, especially if you're in chop. And that's where these predictors will come in pretty handy. You got one showing up right here. Okay, where would our target be on this particular one? Well, it's probably too late because I would have already grabbed it because it came right to the line. Now it's a little bit late, but this would be your target right across there, and then right across that area right there. Let's see if it gets there. I'll speed it up and just see if it does. Nope, didn't get there. See, it started heading down and you got a little bit of a short by breaking your support. Okay, now we would have seen that on the other chart because obviously that's right here. See there? Okay, now let's look and see though. We said that this is the medium swing. This is getting awful close to our opening time because I want to show you, and everybody that's in here knows that this trade was called. Let's see if we can get it. Everybody see it? Was that a great trade that was called this morning or what? And that was called in real time, and I put this on like 100 times so we couldn't catch it on Object Trader. But everybody see that? You had a thrust up, you had a retrace, a little thrust retrace. I like to see an ABC. Yeah, you were done for the day. It was an awesome trade. And I called that this morning, and we boxed it in just like this and nailed that trade. And I even said live in the room, I'm not paying any attention to that magenta midband, because what formed that magenta midband is the algorithms that are pretty tight, and it did just enough retracing to say, yeah, we're looking at a short. We weren't looking at a short, and I called it out right. Thrust, retrace, big thrust. That was your medium swing. Anytime you get these off-colored bars rather than these blue ones, see this thrust up, retrace? This is not really your medium swing. Okay, see your thrust, retrace, thrust. That is an identified swing, but your medium swing, as a rule, is going to have these yellow off-colored bars because it's doing a deep enough retracement to let you get in the trade on a nice retracement. Okay, and that's your swing. As a matter of fact, if you draw it, let's just draw it. Look at that. Didn't even look at that one, did it? High, low, higher, higher low than here, lower high, lower, right? So you could have actually been short, but more than likely you'd take the phantom trade instead, which is what we did, and we got this monster move. And if anybody remembers what that did, that was a monster trade. But let's see if with what you've learned so far, Viper A to Z, if everybody can pick the next trade. I'm going to run it, let's see, need to run it a little faster because we'll never get it otherwise. But I want you to tell me when to hit the market order. I'll just go for a market order. Normally I'd use the bar close, but I'm just going to watch it and I'm going to be ready to buy it. Now looking at the chart, I see a swing right across here. Everybody see it? Right there? That would be, I wouldn't be getting higher lows and higher highs if it comes that far. So I look to my next swing and I see this one right here. And that's where I'd be looking between those two lines to buy this trade that we're looking at right now. Let's see if we can get it. See the predictor? What do you think about that predictor? You want to just grab it when it hits the predictor? It's close. One more. Come on, there it is. It's right at the predictor. That trade was called in the room too. And see how easy that was to figure that out in real time? That's Viper A to Z. That will change your trading. And will you miss one occasionally? I missed an oil trade this morning, but remember what we're doing too. When you go against the trend, a lot of times, especially in the morning, when oil opens, they like to do that little hook thing. Okay? Now there's times they'll just run like a house afire, and if you don't try the hook, they'll leave you in the dirt. Okay? Now, judging by what I just taught, where's your stop on this trade? What does everybody think? And by the way, that was what, 9 o'clock in the morning that trade happened? Let's just pretend you're not in it. You want to just kill it and see if we can get it again? Let's just kill it for the fun of it. Let's see if we can get the same trade again, and let's diagnose it in real time. We got a swing, our lightning swing, thrust, retrace, thrust, retrace, thrust. That's what I call the micro swing. That's what I call a secondary swing right there. Okay? So you want to see if we can get it? Think we can? We'll try it. And I see a swing right here too. See it? So let's draw 3 lines this time, right there. Let's see if we can get us a trade. And predictor is going to help me because predictor is calculating all that price movement right there. It's looking at patterns. It's looking at things that have happened before with those patterns. It's looking at Fibonacci's. It's looking at fib extensions. It's looking at all kinds of things. And we didn't get a chance to go over the indicators and things like that as much, but I wanted to show everybody so that you can make some money how to see these trades. There are 4 trends on your chart, and we've got to be able to trade them. We've got to be able to get them. And by the way, could this have been a little short trade on what we call the minor trend? Lots of people do it for scalps. Well, let's see if we can get in this trade. There's our predictor. We need an ABC. I don't like to get in on just an A. See how that's straight down? Every bar is straight down. I like a little pop-up and a pullback. Would you take 5 ticks? Mary, you could take 5 ticks. I mean, I know traders that see these trades on their charts, and you know they go 5 contracts or so, and try to make $250 every trade. We've got one gal named Kitty that basically has retired. She still actually has our scripts and everything, but I think she's pretty much retired, and she just does it on her own because I haven't seen her in the room in months. But she's still with us. She actually goes for 10 ticks on her trades, and she tries to get 10 trades at $500 every day. And if she has to do 13 to get 10, she does, because naturally you can lose on a trade too. Let's see if we can get this trade. This is doing a little bit of an ABC, but we may not get down to that predictor. That's fine. If we don't, we don't. See how it's kind of trying to pop back up? It's hitting this swing right here. I don't trust that one near as much. If you want to take a chance on it, I'd do it like this. Buy 4, and literally put my stop tight. And I wouldn't have bought, sorry about that, I would have bought 5 ticks. So I'm going to go ahead and just try to get that. Just up there at that top. Shallow trades like that will usually go and tag those tops, but they won't go higher. The deeper retracements are the ones that go higher. It's just the way it works. See if we can get that. By the way, man, this hour went fast. Anybody have a little better understanding of trends? Micro trend, secondary trend, medium trend, and your longer term trend. Well, see what I was talking about though, Mindy. This did come down to right on top of this little swing area. See this thrust up? They're trying to check here. They don't want to take this out. See this swing right here? Thrust, retrace, thrust. They're doing a little ABC. We're just trying to get a little scalp right now. And like I say, when I take a trade like this, I don't try to run for a gusto. Because when you do a shallow, what they're usually going to do, they're going to tag this top, they're going to double top it, pull back, and they'll probably pull back into here. Just a guess, but I'll bet they do it. We'll try to get, well, it got the top anyway. See what I mean? Double top so far. That's what they do. That's so amazing at how, if you see this, and there's a lot of traders, by the way, that would more than likely do something like this even if you double top like this and try to get like 5 ticks. Want to try it? If it double tops, if the bar closes down, is it double top? Not really, because it could close down, still hold this swing and shoot up like a bullet too. We got it though. See if we can get 5 ticks. Now, if I was doing this particular one, though, I would definitely protect my coin right there with exit on close, because that trade can hurt you. The best way to do, I just hit bar close on that one, Mary. Now keep in mind, this particular one is not one I'd recommend. This is a double top trade that some of our traders like to take. Because you'll see time and time again where they'll just barely take out a top like that and roll over and give you 10 ticks. Check a top again, give you some. See what I mean? They do it all the time. No, the trade I'd be looking for would be the pullback. And let's diagnose it in real time, and then I'm going to wrap this webinar up. See if we can get a couple of ticks or so. 5 ticks is fine. We need an ellipse to show up. We need to diagnose our chart. We need to see where it could be heading. Got a swing, thrust, retrace, thrust. Okay, so that's a little identified swing like right across there. Everybody see that? And then there's a swing right here looking to the left to trade the right. So that's where I'd be looking for the trade. And let's see if ellipse says the same thing that Gary says. We'll have to speed it up or we're going to be here all night, probably with it being 9 o'clock. Everybody see it? Everybody see it? It needs a higher low than that right there, actually. That's it. See it? Tried to come down and kiss my line. Everybody see why I grabbed that like that? Now, if I'm inside a range like this, here's what I like to do personally. I like to look and see where the swing is. It's already there. There's a little swing right across here, and there's another swing right across here. So I would probably protect myself like that. Does anybody see why on that? Because it's hitting those swings and it's not taking them out. Let's see if we can get them taken out. There you go, you just got it. Mary, on your question, you see what I'm getting at right there? When you can't see clear sky, what I call blue sky, to the left, you're like in a range, you know you're in that range. It doesn't mean that it's not going to head up, because we'll take it again if it comes down to the predictor. See if we can get another trade. We need a predictor. There's one right there. Not going to take a breakout. Predictor's out of the way now. We need another one. See how it quit drawing it? See the price is past that. So we'll need another predictor. See if we can get one. This is trading, in my personal opinion, is trading Viper A to Z and can make you some serious coin. Okay? Because you've just got to trust. These predictors are going to draw because we've got the algorithms doing them correctly, but you can also draw your lines on your chart, and you should know where this trade's going. See, they've checked this swing right across here, right there on that one. See it? So if they go any lower, what do you think they'll trade? Well, they'll check this swing because that's the next one left. Okay, and then they'll probably check this one. Now, when predictor tells me, though, I'm going to go ahead and buy the trade and see if we can get a little trade. There's your predictor. I only had one set, so we'll just try to take that. I'd probably be protecting that one since we've only got one target, because this is gonna try to check right there. If it doesn't bounce, see, it's trying to take it lower. We're still in it though. Now that's why I like to do more than one target though, because you notice with only one target, we have to go for a gusto. If you do a couple of targets, you can get those scalps. See if we can get it anyway. I'll trust it. We already know where it's checking, right? Looking to the left to trade the right, you got to swing right across here. You could even put your target right there at that swing if you wanted to. But then you got to wait. I mean, this may go higher. It may go all the way to that 3670 because they haven't checked it yet. See, they check to the left every single time when you're trading. And if you learn to see those zigzags, you'll be able to draw your lines on your charts in the right spots. And even when they're sideways, they're still checking every little swing, micro swings. There are 4 trends on your chart, and believe me, they check every single one of them. Okay. Let's see. Doug says, I wish you would do more classes like this where you go tick by tick with lightning 1, 2, and 3. I still struggle in real time, especially in the chop. Well, one thing about the chop, Doug, what I would recommend doing on that would be when they're sideways like this, look at that. There's a trade. There's a trade. This was sideways here. There's a trade. You can go back here and see there's trades. See, there's a trade right there. There's a trade right there. That one might not have paid off. That's fine. There's a trade there. There's a trade there. Those predictors, especially if you draw on your charts, where you see them thrust up. Just to give an example, like right here, when you see this, let's say you were looking at this and you saw, okay, I'm not going to take a breakout trade. I want a little pullback trade. So you wait for the breakout, right? And what does it do? It pulls right back into where you just broke out. And then off they go. And that's important to be able to see because that's a kiss trade. But if you draw lightning on it, you're going to see a swing here, swing here, swing here, swing here. See what I mean? And you can get those trades like that because when they break like that, usually most people, what they do, I'll tell you exactly what they do. They see this breaking up. Maybe I better get long. Oh, maybe I better get long. Gosh, is it going to go up? I'm going to go ahead and hit market order. So they hit market order at 1228.10. It goes up to 1228.40, which is 3 ticks, and then it pulls all the way back to there. That's why most people get bad trades. Because in the scheme of things, if you waited that long, if you're a breakout trader, then take the breakout. Okay? Box it in or whatever. But if you're a retracement trader, you don't want to do this type of thing like this where you go, I'm going to jump in this thing. Well, it looks like it's breaking up. It looks like it. It really looks like it now. Maybe I better hit market order. And that's what people do. They hit a market order when it's already broken up 16 ticks. And then they pull back. Okay? So don't do that. If you're a breakout trader, take your little breakout. But take, for instance, if you were looking at this trade right here and you're a breakout trader, thrust, retrace, thrust, where's your little lightning swing? It's right there. Could you take that long? Yep. Because lightning started heading the other way the minute that swing was broken, didn't it? If you draw it, you'd see it. Just draw your lightning. See there? Thrust, retrace, thrust, lightning swing, off she goes. Okay, that to me is not a bad breakout trade. This is a bad breakout trade to take a big swing like that and take the breakout. Okay, because where would your stop have to be? Well, if you took it on this bar, that stop's too tight and that one's probably a little too loose. See what I mean? Because you're in at 1226.70, your stop's all the way down at 1225.30. That's 14 ticks. 3 contracts, that's $420. But if you put it here, they're just liable to take you out rather than running like that. Most times they will, believe me, because I've seen breakouts where they just barely break up and then they pull right back down to support. Okay? All right. Well, we got through Viper A. We probably have B through Z to go. But I think more than likely some people learned some things today. And on Saturday, I'm going to try to break it down a little bit more into how the indicators work on your charts and also how you can change them around and things like that too. Okay? And we'll trade again tomorrow. And remember in that room, if you listen, you're going to find that we're calling this same type of trades all the time. 4 trends on your charts. Learn to recognize all 4 of them. Let's see. I'm still having much difficulty seeing the various swings. Could you do seeing the swings for a dummies class? Sure, D. Because your swings, no matter if they're larger, like let's say that you did this, for instance, and you did this right here. And where would this, if this was to start going up like this, is that swing identified yet? And on this particular image, it's not. It would have to break this, like that, and then that swing's identified. It's the same thing even for the smaller ones. See your little identified swing? See how you have a low, a high, higher low, takes out the swing. See that? High, low, lower, high. Where's it actually changing trends on what we call the micro trend? Right there when it takes out that swing. But your stop would have to be here, right? And you'd want to take some coin quickly because you're going against a chart. But it's still the same principle. That is a downtrend when it does that, okay? Let's see, ViperAZ, if there's a way to find out what percent they break out of a box one way and go the other. Well, the one thing that I would recommend on that, I like a box that's that tight. You get a box that does this. This is what they're going to do to you. I'm in long. I'm in long. I'm feeling a little bit of heat. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. And then they do that. That's what happens in breakout type trades, in my personal opinion. Now, on little ones like this, you don't have that much to lose. You take the break, pulls back in, closes below your little micro swing, you'd get out of the trade. That might be a 6 or 7 tick loss. Makes a big difference in these big boxes. And what about a really big box? Like that. Would you want to take that breakout? Not if you saw it zigzagging, right? You'd want to wait for the pullback. And that's why these predictors are there. Okay. Let's do it for real in the morning, and we'll trade the after Fed announcement. It should be rocking and rolling tomorrow. Be careful tomorrow. More than likely, we're going to get roller coaster. And what we mean by roller coaster is ups, downs, and downs. Not so much these nice thrust, retrace, thrust. There's a lot of movement on Fed announcements. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening. And this was recorded, and it'll be up on the website in about 45 minutes. Thanks. It'll be available to review in less than an hour, David. All right. And I will, if you want to, we'll break this A to Z, and I'll go over the swings, you know, kind of like Dee's talking about, to see the swings for dummies. I think if you go back and watch this webinar, you'll see that that's what I taught tonight. Okay? Thanks, everyone. And I do hope there's audio on it, but I'll find out in a few minutes. All right. Bye, everyone.